Good morning, good Friday to you. Here we continue with one more session of our How to Deal with Difficult Conversations. This past week was very interesting with my private group coaching call where we are working on for 10 weeks on how to deal with difficult conversations. We bring it together what are the common challenges that my people, my ladies there in the group are facing their daily life is at work and also at home because and with friends and colleagues because difficult conversations, challenging conversations, crucial conversations, conflicts, no matter how you call them, we all face them now and then. And we face, sometimes we feel that we manage successfully to move on from the conflict or from the difficulty of the conversation to build dialogue, because that is the main thing that we have to have in mind when we are going to face a difficult conversation. And today I want to bring you a very interesting concept that came out this week, which was a bit revealing to me too. And I am kind of positive that will be revealing to you too, because we all have heard a lot. Let me change. I will start this way. I would say to you, every time you're facing a difficult conversation, when you're going to have this difficult conversation, no matter what type is, professionally or personally or emotionally, intimately with your partner or spouse, I would say to you, do not start with the why. And I'm going to even to write here, do not start with the why. And we all know the very famous book from Simon Sinek, where he became known because of this book when he said, "Start with why." And now am I here, Tulia, telling you, do not start with the why. And I'm going to explain to you why. When you are, I'm not challenging Simon's concepts here, but there are two different perceptions of the why. When you are preparing yourself for presentation, when you are in the presentation, we have in your preparation, the why is important to you. You need to ask, why am I going to do this? Why these people want to listen to me? Why am I the person to give this presentation, to talk about this topic? So you have all these why questions, which are the meaningful questions, would bring the meaning to what you want to deliver, right? So I'm not going to go into Simon's concept. You can go and read his book or listen to his book. But here when it comes to conflict, when it comes to challenging conversations or difficult conversations, asking why, you immediately put the other person in a defensive and reactive state. Yes. And why is that? Because we all, with a shadow, with a shadow of a doubt, that we all, in when we were growing up, every time we were asked why, it was a kind of scolding. It was a kind of challenging. It felt like you did something you're not supposed to do. So when I say to you, why did you do that? Immediately I'm challenging you. Even in intonation of my voice, usually people would not say, why do you do that, using curiosity voice, such like, why do you do that? But even though it feels challenging, doesn't it? Think about it. If I say to you, why did you do that? I am asking you to explain yourself. And every time we are asked to explain ourselves, we feel like we are in the spotlight, we are somehow under pressure, we are there to defend our point of view, we are there to defend our territory. So this is why the why, when in a challenging conversation, which is already by the name already challenging, already the emotions are high, the whys should be avoided. Instead, you should use what? Because what triggers curiosity from your side, and from the other side, the person receiving the question, the person does not feel challenged. The person does not feel like as if you are questioning the person's decision. You sound more, especially if you then practice it using a curiosity tone of voice, you will sound like you want to know the reasons genuinely. For example, instead of saying, why did you do that? And you say, what are the reasons that led you to do that? Hmm? It sounds much better, doesn't it? Why did you do that? It feels like you're questioning me. What are the reasons that led you to do that? Another example. Why do we have to change the deadlines? It's already a confrontation, tone in question. I'm confronting you. Why do we have to change something? If I say, what are the reasons the deadline needs to be changed? I'm giving you a space to explain yourself. And from there, through your explanation, we can build dialogue. So this is my quick and very important, and I'm going to write here also, instead of why, use what. So that is what you have to have in mind when in a difficult conversation, when in a conflict, when facing a challenge, when you really need to get information for the other person. Do not ask why. Why have you done this? Why is this happening? Instead, you know now, use what. What are the reasons you have done that? What are the reasons the deadline needs to be changed? What is behind this decision? Is very different than saying, why did you take this decision? The why comes very confrontational in when you are facing a difficult conversation, when you are facing a conflict, because already the tensions are high, people already instantly in a defensive mode, and what you have to do is to calm the situation down and bring everybody to dialogue, and the why is not your best friend in this situation. So that's my tip for you today. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask, put in the comments, and I can answer your questions. But remember, wrapping up for today, I'm not disputing Simon Sinek, but in conflicts, in difficult conversations, do not start with a why. Instead, use what. Because why can be confrontational, can feel like confrontation, and what gives the person the space to explain himself, and give you the opportunity to build dialogue, which is the main foundation pillar for dealing with any difficult conversation and conflicts. This is all from me today. See you next week, and have a good weekend. Good Friday to you.